Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited Kitchen Rants. It is a little after 3 o'clock on a Monday morning, the 19th of May. This is the second game of the bracket series, story number 49, The Pocket, versus story number 26, The Bloodmate. All right, The Pocket. What if there is a dimensional pocket somewhere and it sinks to Earth? It's connected to Earth. If you're born there, you can come and go as you please. How big is it? What's in it? Who made it? Unknown. Uh, the perspective of the narrator in the story is somebody who has no clue about any of this. Puts it all together slowly, but he doesn't even know half the facts. But basically, some guy comes out of the pocket, grows up on Earth. Normal guy, seems to be. He is in high school, goes to a party. He's a designated driver. Everyone's partying hard, and some kid skis off the top of a garage, lands on a fence badly. Like maybe you're dying or paralyzed badly, and it's a friend. So this guy drags him to his car, says, "Don't worry, I'll get him to the hospital." And he drives into the pocket. I guess you can do that. Once he's in the pocket, the guy's injuries go away, and he basically has a couple of bruises by the time he gets into the hospital. So, pocket, hospital, and while he's there, he meets this gal who ultimately becomes his wife. Has two kids. And the dude, he recovers, he's grateful, and he goes off to become a very rich guy, and he sends a bottle of Dom Perignon once a year with a note saying, thanks, old buddy. Now, here's the thing about the pocket. If you're a human and you're taken into the pocket, all your injuries, all your illnesses go away, but you also come back with a superpower. His superpower was telepathy. That's how he got rich. So he starts playing around with people's heads, he masters his abilities, and he becomes a stone cold Lex Luthor type. The world is his, basically. He's a billionaire, he's calling the shots. But what the dad doesn't tell him is that that telepathy is temporary. And in a bunch of years, it starts to wear off. And all those proverbial chickens are coming home to roost because he's starting to lose control over the people he's manipulated. And he's getting desperate. If he doesn't find some way back into that pocket to recharge his powers, he's going to lose them. And the only person who can take him there won't do it. And so he decides to get violent. And how does that turn out? That's the story number 49, The Pocket. The next story, number 26, The Bloodmate. All right, there's this guy who is like the oldest brother in a family that's been abandoned. I don't even mention the father in this story. Mother just gives up and runs off. And he has two brothers and a sister in a wheelchair to look after. Honest work's not going to cut it, so he starts selling drugs, weed and oxy. And he manages to get them all out of the house. Then his luck runs out. Ends up in jail. It's like a two-strike loser. And gets out on parole. Gets a delivery job from his PO. And he's doing deliveries for a small indie delivery service. And he's a night owl, so he's like night jobs. And he gets a job to deliver 2 parcels to address behind a bunch of closed stores in a field. And there are some people waiting for him. A pretty boy in a suit, a goth chick covered in tattoos, and these 2 massive dudes who look like Irish twins, right? What are they waiting for? A box of crucifixes, big and small, like hundreds of them. And a dude beaten to a pulp, stuffed in a box with enough oxygen to breathe, because these 4 people who are waiting for him are all vampires, and they're going to do a little experiment. The experiment was to bleed this guy out, turn him, throw him in an open grave, pour crosses all over him, and wait. If you have crosses on you before you turn, fully as you're turning, can you develop a resistance to crosses? Which is like a real serious hindrance to vampires. Like crosses on flesh on contact, you burn. Somebody with strong enough will can actually drive you back with crosses, but What if you could treat crosses like an allergen and build up a resistance to them before you fully awaken that first time as a vampire? Well, here's the problem. The crosses show up, the body doesn't. That their test subject doesn't show up. So they're just going to have to improvise because this is all about science. And they grab the delivery driver. He ends up in a hole. He ends up with the goth chick. See, there are two ways to turn somebody. Actually, there are probably a couple of ways, but the two most common ways to turn somebody is to bleed them dry, give them some blood, they turn, the old school movie way. And then there's good old fashioned sex. Exchange of bodily fluids, and then a turning bite in the process does the same thing. So she turns him, and as she's turning him, he gets all amorous, shall we say. He falls madly in love, and there's this little sub phenomenon within the vampire lore that no one seems to have mentioned. It's called the blood mate. Like if a vampire bites somebody, normally they fight back. It's a unpleasant process. You don't like having your blood drained out of you. It's not joyous, but if you enjoy it, if you forgive them instantly, if you love them, if you bring them in close, it's like better than the sex itself. Uh-oh. Um, you have bitten somebody who will love you forever. It's like your perfect mate. And this goth chick does not like happy. She does not do happy. She rejects him automatically. He's like, I'll change your mind. She's like, yeah, right. If you survive this, I might even give you a chance, stud. And then his lights go out. I won't tell you how the story ends, but wow, it gets. And so those are the two competing stories, the Pocket versus Bloodmate. I chose Bloodmate. It's more specific. It gets to a suitable end for me. Um, Concept's kind of strange, cool, twisted, pitchable, right? And the Pocket, I might need to rewrite it from someone else's perspective, someone who has a clue. But I have to say, I kind of like the narrator. I mean, it's like a first-person story. Maybe I give her some more of the puzzle. Maybe somebody from the Pocket comes for her. I don't know. But it's not ready. So, Bloodmate goes to the next round. The Pocket does not. All right, I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited Kitchen Rants. Please like and subscribe. Also, please check out iVillain.net. That's where my books are. Links lead to Amazon and Kindle. 21 books so far. There's the Battery series, basically how to become an indie author. The Antagonist Cookbook series, how to create characters, world build. It's good for writers and evil GMs. The Book of Schemes on Heroic, short story collections about, well, Twilight Zone style short stories. Dark, violent humor, basically. And the iVillain series, novels. What would happen if supervillains having a midlife crisis at gunpoint, and Tyrant's Bane. What would happen if you get kidnapped from your bachelor party and dumped on a fantasy world by your future in-laws who do not consent to this marriage, shall we say. And then there's a whole apocalypse setting. But anyway, take it easy.